Oh, baby.
Well, it's a Monday. So, listen, for some people are hustlers there. They went to work on Saturday, you know what I mean? And this isn't a welcome back.
Couldn't be.
For some people, the grind never stops. Welcome back into another episode of the DNVR Show on the DNVR Nuggets Podcast. We're here in the in the Toyota Winners Lounge. Been a while since I've said that.
Can we start over?
Yeah, hang on. We are here in the Toyota Winners Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Don't go anywhere there for an hour because I'm hanging out with D-Line, and we want you to hang out with us live in the Toyota chat. Your input is welcome. And Eric, your input is necessary. It's just the two of us today.
I know, dude. This is a bit of a D-Gen episode. You know what I mean? Sort of a odds and ends, sort of a leftovers from the main crew. I'm curious to see if we can make it happen.
I mean, we're going to do our best. We're contractually obligated to put a show together.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, knowing what's going into this, I'm betting against us.
Well, you shouldn't, because we've got so much to talk about today, Eric. Come on, man. I mean, listen, I would bet against us too. But we're here. We're going to do it. We're going to have a lot of fun with you talking about some big news in the NBA that just dropped. ESPN's offseason survey, a recent Michael Malone quote that's in the digital wild right now.
Oh, my.
And we're going to take a look at a mailbag as well. A few questions from some great questions from a few great fans. How about that?
Can't wait.
First and foremost, Eric, how are you today?
Yo, listen, I'm great. And the great thing about this great thing that you said was great is that all of those things that you mentioned, I don't know anything about them. I'm going to be finding out about them for the first time. You're going to get my live, real, initial reaction to almost everything. It's like walking around with me in real life.
You'll be pleased to know we did, in fact, plan a show. So you just sit back and wing it. Kayla and I will make the rest of it happen. First and foremost, some news here, which is some big news and some really unfortunate news in Houston. And this comes to us from The Athletic and Shams Charania. Houston Rockets' Fred VanVleet has suffered a torn ACL, sources tell. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say The Athletic. I should say ESPN, which is where Shams is now. A devastating, potentially season-ending loss for the Rockets with their starting point guard and leader. And Eric, there's some more information on this, and this comes to us from The Athletic, from Kelly Iko, who says it was at a team-held minicamp in the Bahamas, which we know we've talked about the importance for the Nuggets of doing things like that.
Brother.
A lot of teams like to get together before real training camp starts. Seems to be important to chemistry. And this time, what is usually a wise decision is going to bite Houston. They do not have Fred VanVleet this season, Eric.
That's brutal. That's brutal. I'm just looking at their roster. They don't have anyone else that's just listed as a point guard. They've got other guards, guys that could step in. Aaron Holiday. Who else do you even have? Yo, it's rough. They were absolutely counting on the services of Fred VanVleet, and who wouldn't? He's an excellent vet to sort of build around, especially with such a young squad.
Yeah.
That's horrible. I feel terrible for them because, I mean, like, listen, this is like what happened to LaFonso Ellis back in the day. Like, this is obviously the dark side of like heavy off-season work is that, you know, dudes can get hurt. Man, that's brutal. I actually hate to see that because, you know, you want to come by it honestly. If you're the Denver Nuggets, you want to rise to the top of the West, not because guys that were important on big teams got hurt.
And Houston's come by this all honestly, like well operated to get to where they are now. And, you know, like it's not like they were out there tanking or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? They operated in good faith. They found a good young core. They had a leader in Fred VanVleet. They thought the missing piece in Kevin Durant. Now they won't have Fred. You mentioned the guard situation, which is a good point, Eric. There's a lot of talent on this team, not necessarily a stable of talented guards. Chat pointing out Reed Shepherd.
Oh yeah, Reed Shepherd. I'm curious. Like he's coming straight out of the G.
Yeah, he's not quite ready, really. So that's a big bump. I mean, just and did they trade Cam Whitmore? I got to double check that. But yeah, Aaron Holiday How much kind of point guard work will Thompson get now?
Wow.
And is Reed Shepherd ready? But this is a big blow to a team that, by all accounts, and we'll see as we look at the survey later, was in at least that kind of adjacent to contender tier of the really elite team.
And listen, like, if you want to talk about what went wrong in Phoenix last year, led by Kevin Durant, they did not have a point guard. They didn't have anyone to sort of set the table for Kevin Durant and for the other guys. This is actually like this is an underrated, like, probably the worst injury that they could have, like the worst setback they could have, because on a team with a bunch of scorers, like guys that have a bunch of different like roles on this team, you need the guy that's going to get everybody involved. So yikes. I wonder if how does it work? They're able to obviously put him on some sort of injury reserve. Are they able to free up his roster spot?
They will be able to create an exception, and there will be some cap relief there, but it's not like they're going to be able to add a player of Fred VanVleet's quality.
Right.
Which leads me to buckle up, Eric. There is a point guard out there who has at least spot started at a high level lately. He is looking for a home.
Oh my God.
He once had a home in Houston. There.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
Do they look to Russell Westbrook?
Yes, they do. Yes, they absolutely mark that. That is where Russell Westbrook will be playing his basketball this season. The Houston Rockets. My God, there's like all these weird Frankenstein squads of like all of like the yesteryear players of the NBA that all sort of like end up coming together. The Clippers, the Rockets now. Damn. Yep, that's definitely going to happen. Mark that down.
See Celestios in the chat there saying he thinks this drops Houston clearly under Denver now. He thought Houston would be the second seed, and then the Nuggets would emerge as actually the second best team out west. Now he's going to say the Nuggets get the second seed. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say Houston's done. We'll see how they navigate this, but it's a huge blow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were already maybe like teetering on contender, maybe not quite. I don't know what you thought about.
I mean, they finished second in the West last year. They made a huge leap, and like in my mind, in my view, their issue was just youth and inexperience last year. So obviously, and also top tier talent. Like they actually have a pretty deep roster if you look at it. Like there's a lot of guys. Tari Eason coming off the bench.
Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., Şengün,
I mean, they
Durant,
have a really quality, Steven Adams off the bench, Clint Capella back with the Rockets. Like, so depth is not their issue. It's just top level, top tier talent, which, you add Kevin Durant, you lose Jalen Green, but then you lose Fred VanVleet. It's kind of like they are kind of back where they were. I don't know. Like this, I feel the same. I mean, definitely this is a major hit to their long-term ability to compete in the West. But I do think I don't think that they're going to drop out of contention entirely. Like just based on the fact that they do have so much depth and that aids you so much during the regular season. Like I still think they'll be a top 4 seed.
But they're going to have to contend. There's going to have to be some kind of trade or.
I guess. I mean. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're in a tough spot. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It feels like in bad taste to just say stick a fork in them now. There's a whole season to play, see how they navigate it. But there's no doubt about it. I think you hit the nail on the head with the framing of, this is the one spot where they don't really have reinforcements. Like this is a big blow.
Yes.
So unfortunate for Houston. We'll see how that impacts the Western Conference, a Western Conference that was set to feature Houston, Denver, Oklahoma City, at least on paper, prominently, those 3 teams. And since it is still on paper season, Eric.
Hell yeah, it is.
Let's take a look at some on paper survey reactions. The original ESPN news of the day.
Do we know for sure that these were filled out on paper?
We don't actually. I'm going to go ahead and figure that they weren't, Eric, in 2025. This was probably done digitally.
Okay, fair.
This comes to us from Tim Bontemps. Shout out St. Bonaventure, by the way. He's an alum. This comes to us from Tim Bontemps, who surveyed.
So wait, Bontemps with the Bonaventure?
I'm pretty sure. I could have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I only know because my parents are a couple of Bonnies.
This dude's life.
Yeah, dude. We love the Bonnies here. He interviewed a handful of executives, scouts, and coaches to ask them a smattering of questions ranging from individuals to teams to the outlook of the NBA. And Eric, I would say we could get righteously indignant
Oh,
together.
it's ready.
Although
God.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. The Nuggets kind of come out all right in this. Brother.
Really?
Let's take a look through it together. First
Okay.
and foremost, yeah, Kale, let's get this heavy hitter out of the way. Who will be the MVP? According to this sample of coaches, scouts, and executives, Nikola Jokić is the favorite to win the next MVP.
Come on, let's go, dude.
He had 7 picks. SGA coming up just behind him with 5. Luka Doncic with 4. Your guy Victor Wembanyama with 2. What's your instant reaction, Eric? You can't get angry. They got Jokic 1.
Well, so how many? He basically talked to 20 people.
You know, I don't. It's there's not a ton of specifics. I guess we could run the math on the votes. I have not seen a number of how many people.
I was just adding
talked
it up. I think it was near 20, but then the screen
say
changed.
20. Yeah.
Okay. So
It is 20.
so a large sample size.
Sure. Yeah, the largest. It's 20.
I do love this. This is what after going through the last political season, it just really like you see something, you're like, wow, that's what it is. And then you're like, wait, who said 6 guys said it? Okay. All right. Listen, man, I love those 7 guys. And those other 13 guys, watch your back.
It's great because the gap is small enough that if they had just interviewed 20 more people.
No, easily could have switched. But I, listen, I feel similarly. I do think that there is a little bit of mea culpa going on with the MVP voting, like it happened the year prior. Joel Embiid wins, and then what happens? Everyone's like, all right, our bad. Sorry. Jokic, you win. Fine. I think there's this same dynamic could take place if Nikola Jokic puts up similar numbers that he did last year, where I don't know if you remember this. He averaged a triple-double as a center in this league, like one of the most impressive statistical seasons of all time, but yet, and again, agreed widely as the best player in the world, but again, not the MVP.
Not the MVP.
not the most valuable, just the best, unfortunately.
Do you think this upcoming season he has a chance to coming off of the SGA title, that if Denver bounces back strong?
That's what I'm saying, man. I just feel like he probably has to be the leader out of the gate because everyone, I think, largely recognized that there was a little bit of an injustice that took place. And people are looking to right their wrongs. You know what I mean?
I listen, I agree. Or it's not even injustice. It's just, all right, that was SGA's year.
Yeah,
but
injustice.
Jokic coming off of those numbers.
Yeah, injustice.
Right. If the Nuggets finish higher, justice will be served.
Yes, yeah.
What do you think about their number 2
Makeup
and 3
call.
picks here? SGA and Luka coming in at 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, like Luka, I think that for the last several years, there is a strong desire for Luka Doncic to win the MVP. I do believe that the league would love to be able to award it to him. Like the year prior, like they really wanted to, but it's like they couldn't. There's, as now we are veterans of the MVP wars, we know how the narrative part of it sort of takes over and ends up ruling the day. So I think that there's a narrative there that they would love to make Luka. There's a narrative, that SGA benefited from last year. But I don't know, man. I do think that we are set for a bounce back year in that we're like, all right, we took it from him last year. We got to give it to him this year kind of thing. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Luka either. That wouldn't shock me at all. Would you?
No, I don't. I wouldn't be surprised, especially now that he's a Laker. I mean, obviously, the question, I think what's working against Luka is I would imagine both the Thunder and the Nuggets will have pretty strong records.
Yes.
Will the Lakers have a shakier record? I would think so, Eric.
Also,
still on
will
paper.
this year just be dominated by LeBron James? This has to be the unofficial farewell tour, right? Like this year?
You know what? That also comes up in the survey, so we'll talk about that later. Or we won't, because it's a Nugget show. We'll fight. If we have time, we'll get to it. If not, you know what we have time for, Eric?
What's that, brother?
A break.
What?
Not just time for it, as I believe
we're
contractually
required.
Obligated. Yes, we must talk about, and we're excited to talk about, our friends at Ent Credit Union.
Hell yeah, dude.
They've got an awesome product over at Ent Credit Union, and it's to help Broncos fans make the most of the season. Sorry to mention a sore subject right now. For those of you who don't know,
this card, you have to be careful you don't overspend.
Nice.
Overspend by a few yards.
The group chat is all Broncos fans and then one New York Football Giants fan, and it's like we can't one up each other enough.
No.
It's just constantly
race to the bottom.
We're hanging out in the mud together. For those of you who don't know them, ENT is the largest credit union in Colorado, proudly serving communities all over the state, and they're also the official banking partner of the Denver Broncos. And if you have pointed out on the show, Eric, there's a lot of the owners of the Denver Broncos have a lot of money.
Yes.
So this is a busy partnership, and their Broncos checking account is loaded with all kinds of perks. Check those out if you're a Broncos fan. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Membership required. Account requires associated ENT Broncos debit card. And while I have everyone's attention, let's talk about our friends at Red Hawk Roofing. Good friends of ours. Hung out with them at the last Broncos tailgate, actually. It was a lot of fun. I love partnering with these guys because it's so easy to sell their product and tell you that they're worth calling and that you can trust them because we've met them, we believe it. You know what I mean? Adam's actually a customer of theirs. Red Hawk Roofing, they're the best roofers in Denver, and they're part of the DNVR team. Go with the pros at Red Hawk Roofing and get your roof checked once a year. It's preventative medicine for the home you pour your life into to make sure no water's pouring into the home you poured your life into. Make sure you're covered with Red Hawk Roofing. No job too big or small. Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time, Colorado's best estimators and contractors, and they're super, super honest guys, which actually matters a lot in an industry like this. They want word of mouth. They want trust. They do not want to cut corners or dip into your wallet when they don't have to. So supporting your local teams means also supporting local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921 and tell them that DNVR sent you.
We did.
On the way out, Eric, into that break, we were talking about MVP. You kind of pointed out that there's a distinction between the MVP and the best player in the world.
As we've learned. Well, I didn't realize there was, but again, being a veteran of the MVP wars, you learn certain
things. Well, Tim Bontemps is also aware of that distinction, which is why he asked a second question. Who is the best player right now? And look, yes, Jokić is the favorite according to these 20 people to win MVP. He's also the overwhelming answer for the best player right now. It's 19-1. And to your point there, Eric, it's Luka Doncic who has the one vote, one dissenting vote.
That's not right. He can't. He had that one shining moment where there was like a game and a half where it looked as though he was single-handedly going to drag Slovenia to a medal. And even our own beloved homie Miroslav said he had shades of best player in the world vibes.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's kind of what this survey is. Like, okay, the door's open a little bit insofar as one person threw it out.
Come on, dude.
It's still Jokic's, but someone's got to go take it.
Can you believe that, honestly, that there's not a single vote for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
That is kind of interesting, right? And I don't even mean that in a trolly way.
No, not a trolly way at all, but it is funny the way that, here's a question.
Sure.
None of us like AI, right?
Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson, yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
and I mean the technology that Allen Iverson has created, artificial intelligence. I assume that's why it's called that. At some point, do we have to just get AI involved so there's no human emotion with this stuff? The narratives, we can just be like,
I promise you, any kind of just sort of narrative removed thing is going to be Jokić.
That's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the year, we're just like all Chat GPT. Who wins? And they're like Jokić, and we're like, all right, shut up, everyone, shut up. Like we don't have to fight anymore. Obviously, we're homers. No one listens to us.
No. Forget Chat GPT, Eric. We have a group of 20.
we have 20
scouts, executives, and coaches,
biased.
And they have spoken. Jokić is the best player in the world. I like this though from the excerpt here that Tim Bontemps wrote. For just about every voter, there was very little hesitation in picking Jokić before moving on to the next question.
What are we doing?
As long as he's walking and breathing, one executive said of the Serbian superstar, it should be him.
But not for MVP.
No, they have him for MVP as well. Well, not last year, not the vote. This is a different group.
I'm confused. Was he walking and or breathing last year?
Well, this is a different group. If these 20 folks have voted on MVP.
This is a different isolated 20 people.
Yes, they're projecting ahead.
Fair. Okay, got it.
And they think he will be the MVP. And as long as he's walking and breathing, he is the best player.
I'm hoping he's doing both of those things for well after I stop. At least one of them.
I loved that quote. It was so definitive.
I know, as long as he's walking or breathing.
It's kind of funny how, and look, on some level, I understand. Like, it all came together for the Thunder last year. Like, historically, is it that much of a crime that SGA has an MVP? No, I don't think so. But I do think it's funny how different the MVP conversation is versus best player alive, in which there's little to no hesitation for most people that you ask. Now, for Jokić, he's still the best player alive, coming off of a couple of second-round exits, an unceremonious exit at Eurobasket. Perhaps, Eric, one might argue, some have argued on this show, that with a bit more depth and help, Jokić would, in fact, have made it further than those second rounds. Which brings us to this next question on the ESPN survey. Which team had the best offseason? And this question was also kind to the Denver Nuggets, Eric. They do not come in first here. That honor goes to the Atlanta Hawks, actually.
The Atlanta Hawks?
The Atlanta Hawks, who did have a strong offseason.
What were their main... Okay, let's recap their offseason moves.
Sure, let's do it. The Atlanta Hawks traded for Kristaps Porzingis, signed Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Okay.
They got a very good trade asset by trading with the New Orleans Pelicans in the first round, so the Pelicans could take a queen. And, so those are really kind of the headliners of their moves.
I am so shocked that it wasn't the Rockets. I was sure that the Rockets were going to just kind of have that mantle with... I mean, they made a bunch of... Just getting Kevin Durant, first and foremost.
Yep. And that did make a splash. So the Rockets got 3 votes here, and Kevin Durant was a big part of it. For Denver, it was the Cam and MPJ trade, but also the depth, being able to add Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway, and Jonas Valanciunas, which is, I think, the way to look at it. I mean, maybe you could argue Atlanta's offseason was better in a vacuum, but I think Denver's a team that was closer to winning, that got closer to winning, is my framing.
I mean, listen, they had as I said on the show the other day, like, this is the best offseason, I think, ever for the Denver Nuggets. I can't think of another offseason where they addressed so many issues and made so many high-level moves. And they really, transformed a large part of their operation, starting with their front office. Both the, help me out here, the
executive vice president of player personnel, okay. which is John Wallace. Ben Tenzer is the executive vice president of basketball operations. Thank you so much for asking, Eric.
They added those guys.
Yes.
Ben Wallace, which was incredible. Big transformational item to turn one guy into 2 guys, and 2 guys that have focus seemingly on a different side of what it is to be in a front office executive. And then, just it immediately bore out that this combination seems to be a winning one, in that, at least, again, on paper or in the digital space, the moves they made make so much sense and were exquisitely deft.
In 20 years, there's going to be kids that are like, why do you say on paper?
I know. Well, it's like the kids now, like when you answer your cell phone, you push a button that looks like an old handset.
Right.
And they have, you have to be like, there's like so many things where you're like, what? What do you, like the floppy disk, to save?
Oh, sure, of course. Or to play Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. I'm pretty old too. When you mime answering the phone, what do you do? This?
I go like this. Ignore.
Nice. Ignore that question and ignore your calls. I love it.
Yeah, it's wild though. But yes, like the Denver Nuggets made. I just love this. It's nice when you think of yourself as a larger thinking person than just being a deep homer for your team, and so you just celebrate every move that they made. But like I'm like, dude, this is incredible. These moves they're making are incredible.
I think, obviously folks like us are at risk of overstating it because for obvious reasons. I think objectively it was a good offseason.
That's what I'm saying.
And obviously then you try to speak objectively.
Then you get these guys that are representing other franchises. They have every reason in the world to like speak ill of the Denver Nuggets because, there is a narrative side of this that creeps into the actual basketball. So like you want to, get, I don't know, favor on your side of like, hey, these guys had a good offseason, blah, blah, blah. Objectively, these guys see what we're seeing. Dude, that feels great.
I agree. I mean, look, I think they had the exact kind of offseason they needed to have for you to feel better about the team. Now, there's a limit. There's a ceiling on that until games are played, right? It's as It's on screen season. It's on Microsoft Word season.
Yeah, dude, it's radial button click season.
We have one more question from the ESPN survey I'd like to talk to you about, Eric.
Yeah. I'd love to.
It's a big one. It's the big one. Which team will win each conference and who will win the NBA title?
I'm so. What if it's just this is how it turns? It's like they knew it. You just look at this is how it plays out.
There was a script.
We're just wasting our time with the rest of the season. We just
this every year.
Cool.
Would anyone notice? Would anyone go back to track the ESPN?
That's the best part about any of these things. No one ever goes back to verify.
Let's start with the East because the East is wide open, Eric, and you'll notice that 5 different teams got a vote here. That's how wide open it is. Cleveland Cavaliers came out on top with 9 votes. The New York Knicks with 7. The Atlanta Hawks and their wonderful offseason with 2. And then the Bucks and the Magic got a nod as well.
Dang.
What's your reaction to that shakeout?
Well, first off, your Bostons have just been eliminated from I mean, you lose Jason Tatum. That's
I know.
bad
I
times.
wish it could feel better. It doesn't.
It doesn't feel good, but that is pretty wild. Like I do think. I mean, I think that the reality reflects this level of, the variety of answers. Like I don't know. I don't even know who I'd pick. And the crazy thing is that the Hawks are third. Like I think of the Hawks as being hot garbage.
Forever mid, even?
Forever mid.
Yeah.
Forever mid. It's like, are there really just like 2 good teams in the East?
Yeah, so I think the Bucks get the Giannis nod, but to be honest, with respect to that voter, I just think with this Bucks team, I mean, Giannis should win MVP if they're anywhere close to that conversation. Yes. So I would personally, that's the most far-fetched one. To me, you have the kind of chalk picks where if they're healthy, they'll be right back in the Cavs and the Knicks. And then the 2 teams in the East that got aggressive and made a move to give themselves a chance should injuries allow it. And that is the Hawks and the Orlando Magic. I think it's cool that someone had the cojones to pick them. They overpaid for Desmond Bane in a vacuum, but in the parity era, it might be about moves like that, where if you're this close, why wait? Go make that move. We'll see how that shakes out for Orlando, but cool to see them get a vote.
They really are kind of the Nuggets of the East. They're just like slow. I mean, everybody says Indiana, but it's like they've been on the steady upward trajectory for some time. And it's, this is the cool thing about following a league for season after season after season. You do see like the glacial movement of like a team building something, starting to slowly rise, and then they make the one move that like gets them over the top or at least puts them into real contention. And it does feel like that's where we're at for the Orlando Magic. You've got, obviously like Paolo Banchero, Suggs, like a bunch of those guys that they've had down there in the NBA Siberia, which is nobody pays attention. And they've just kind of gotten better and better and better. And yes, adding Desmond Bane, who you and I are big fans of, I know, Bane train over here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like when I think of them, I do think I imagine they don't, like Paolo's their guy, but they don't, it seems like they're kind of missing maybe a third.
That's kind of why I like the Bane trade, because you have Paolo and Wagner. Now, I think both of those guys need to get even better again this year.
Yes.
But maybe Bane will help and will help with the spacing, which should help things out for Banchero.
I wouldn't be surprised. I kind of think they'll be this year's Rockets of last year, that kind of make a big leap. Like they were kind of getting frisky and then suddenly made a big leap. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was Orlando this year.
Are you strongly in or out on either Cleveland or New York as the East winners?
I like Cleveland better, but they were so weak.
I know.
In the playoffs.
I know.
Like they were like so weak.
Again.
Where's Indiana?
Well, they're having the bye year as well with Halliburton, of course.
Right, of course. But even still, like it seems like. I don't know. It wasn't just Halliburton that like made their whole thing go.
No, but I kind of understand.
I do too. But I think, golly, if you for some reason were like a really violent person and felt the need to put a gun to my head to ask me this question,
It'd be an insane scenario.
I'd be like, bro. We're talking about the Eastern Conference. Calm down.
Yeah, put your gun away.
Please put that gun away. But I think I would take New York. I think I would take New York just based on just how weak Cleveland went out.
We'll take a look at the results from the ESPN survey in the Western Conference on the other side of this break.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's a Monday, and we're in the middle of a work day. So chances are you have not yet cracked open a Miller Lite. If
Speak
you
for
have,
yourself.
yeah, you work somewhere cool. Somewhere very
Speak
cool.
for yourself.
Wrong on both accounts. Look, even as the season changes here from summer to fall, Miller Lite is still the beer to call. They are the perfect beer for any occasion because it's nice and light, but you still get that quality core beer taste.
Bro.
You know, the essential qualities of a beer you're looking for. Got to taste a certain way, sound a certain way when you crack it open. Miller Lite's got all of that good stuff and none of the bad stuff as well. It's been the original light beer since 1975. It is 96 calories and just 3.2 grams of carb per 12 ounces. Miller Time is always a good time. Again, original light beer since 1975 and still iconic 50 years later. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. And last but not least, tell you about our friends at Bet365. Football's going on right now, obviously. So you can be betting on both college and the NFL as the pigskin flies through the air,
Bro,
Eric.
Man.
Did I just bum you out by mentioning the NFL?
Don't mention the NFL, dude. I thought we weren't talking about football. We made a whole thing. I said two things. Don't look me in my eyes. Let's not talk about college football or the NFL. This is a basketball show, for God's sake. It's supposed to be a safe space.
You're right. I apologize. Really quickly, though, a couple more notes on football. They play on Thursdays now. There's the Thursday night football. You can get a $10 safety net bet there. On Sunday night football, there's a $365,000 jackpot. Place a $10 bet on the first touchdown score and get a split of $365,000 in bonus bets if your player scores the final touchdown of the game. And of course, tonight is Monday. How about Monday Night Football? 50% super profit boost token on same game parlays. Breaking news from Bet365, new customers can now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. Sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Back here in the Toyota Lounge with Eric Wedum, also known as D-Line Co., also known as Eric Sedum.
I was hanging out with a friend of mine that knew me in the before times.
Of course.
Like when I was just like a person.
Just a guy.
Yeah, like I didn't have like a cartoonish alter ego that people used to, make fun of me. And I was like, all right, man, we're going to go in there and I promise somebody is going to call me D-Line and just roll with it. Please, just don't look at me.
That's something you usually have to explain in like undergrad.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, totally. Like when you showed up, you're like, everyone calls me the barf master here.
Yeah.
Like, just don't.
Just roll with it.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, I think we're too old for this.
Yeah. You're like, D-Line, aren't you almost 50? I'm like, dude, be cool, man. I don't have to go off on you in front of my young friends.
Well, it's me and my very old friend, Eric Wedum, hanging out in the Toyota Lounge
master.
with all of you good friends hanging out in the Toyota chat as well. Do us a favor, please. Throw a like on the show if you're enjoying it. Helps other Nuggets fans find the stream, find the channel, and watch all of our good stuff covering all of those Colorado sports. On this particular show, we talk about the Denver Nuggets.
Hell yeah, we do.
Which is why this topic is so
That's
relevant.
why we were talking about the Rockets for the last segment.
Very nicely played. Well, you know what? Let's talk about the Nuggets for a second. The last question we were looking at is who will win each conference and the NBA title. Before the break, we looked at the Eastern Conference. After the break, which is right now, let's look at the Western Conference. 18 votes for the Oklahoma City Thunder. 18. And
18.
The Denver Nuggets are the only other team to get a nod to win the Western Conference, 18-2.
2.
I got to be honest. As far as winning the conference, this doesn't shock or surprise me at all. Like, I just don't see any reason why OKC won't win a boatload of games again. There are harder questions, I think, to ask about going back-to-back right now.
Yeah.
They look well-equipped to do it, but we said the same thing about Boston.
Exactly. I was just going to say, here's all I know is that at the conclusion of every season, it's so obvious that the team that just won is only going to get better, and they're going to roll through the next season, and it's going to be it's just everyone in the league versus them, and then it never happens. I don't know why it's not going to happen for them. I can't think of a
Right.
A
You don't know the reason yet, but one way or another, you think that'll manifest again.
I don't know, man. Like, it just seems like there's just a lot of games in between now and then. Things happen, you know, especially now with the team. This is going to be interesting to watch, the dynamic that takes place with certain members of the Rockets getting more, of the Thunder getting more shine than the others.
Yeah.
And, you know, is that weirdo Jalen Williams, is he going to be unhappy with the amount of focus he's getting? Everyone's talking about Shea. You know, is our main man, what's his name, the tall kid?
Chet Holmgren, of course.
Is Chet going to be like, hey, man, what's up with me? I'm Chet. Where's my thing? You know, and like jealousy creeps in. You never know, man. Things can break down quicker than you imagine that they would, especially in such an ego-driven league like the NBA.
I think both Nuggets fans and Celtics fans would have said, look, we run it back. Let's see what happens.
That's exactly the Nuggets. The Nuggets ran it back, and there's no, like, if you look at it, they obviously lost Bruce Brown. They lost, who else did they lose? What was the difference?
Well, eventually they lost Kentavious Caldwell-Pope the next year, but.
So I'll have to look. I mean, I've not really studied their. Have they lost anybody, the Oklahoma City Thunders?
No,
the
Thunder have extended a bunch of people, and like they're pretty much going to be the same team, man. They extended the other Jalen Williams. I know that. Take a look at their roster, but essentially you're going to be looking at the same roster for another year, the same major players. So,
all right. Well, I guess I'm probably with the vast majority of anonymous people in the NBA.
Yeah, I think honestly, like I said this last year, I think they're going to cruise to winning the conference. But they did not cruise to winning the title. They did win it.
They did win.
They played very well. They deserved to win it. They didn't cruise to it because they ran into the Denver Nuggets, who took them 7 games.
Oh.
So let's change this conversation now. Let's go from winning the West to winning the title. And, would you look at that? It's the exact same shakeout. Oklahoma City Thunder, 18 votes. Denver Nuggets, the only other team in the NBA to get a nod at winning the title with 2 votes. So in fairness, before we get righteously indignant, it's only 2 teams on here, and the Nuggets are one of them.
Yeah.
But overwhelmingly, these insiders like the Thunder to do what we just talked about.
Of course they do.
And repeat.
This is crazy to me after nobody's gone back to back since the Warriors?
But it's just how this is how it works. Like, I promise, like as soon as we get the season breakdowns, everyone's gonna be like, well, I don't know. I really see the Thunder and, you know, maybe a team like whoever else, whatever. I guess the Pacers got hurt, so they're out of it. But it would have been the Pacers and the Thunder. Those are the 2 I can see. You know,
but the things that might happen between now and the Thunder trying to contend or failing to go back to back, like they can't happen now. All it now is it's again on paper season. It's just looking at rosters, and their roster is incredible.
Yeah,
and they did just win, and they are a group that has the depth in theory to maybe not be as fatigued as Denver was.
Yep.
There's all this stuff. Not rooting for injuries, but we know they happen.
No,
as
it just
Celtics
happens.
fans, so we'll see. But how about the Denver Nuggets being the only other team to get a nod?
Yeah, I mean, like, my righteous indignation only can go so far here, because I do feel like there is quite a bit of respect involved in, and like the appropriate level of respect is being given to both teams here.
Yeah, probably true.
That, you know, you do have to give it to the Oklahoma City Thunder for what they just accomplished, and the fact that they've built the team the way that they have, that is not only the best team at the moment, but also is built to be sustainable. So, you know, if you, like an absolutely unhinged crazy person, put a gun to my head and ask me a simple basketball question.
It's so crazy.
Just like, God dang, where is this gun coming from? We're having a basketball conversation.
And as an avid podcast listener, happens a lot.
All the
people
time,
are constantly
dude. It's
putting
the only
guns on
way
people
people want to
and
ask
asking
other
them
people
questions.
questions. Like, apparently you can't be serious unless there's a firearm involved. But you put a gun to my head, and between the tears, the begging, the pleading, calling for my parents, things like that, I go, probably the Thunder.
Probably the Thunder.
But, and then tears are streaming down my but I do feel like the Nuggets. But I kind of think it's the Nuggets. You have a gun, dude. You have a gun.
Listen, I think the Nuggets are in a good position they've put themselves in a position to take advantage of whatever the Thunder leave on the table should they do that.
Yes.
I think the Nuggets have done everything they can to put themselves back in that conversation. And again, last year they went 7 games. But that's, again, you don't raise a banner for that. But I think it informs that with a strong offseason, they have a chance.
Yes.
I think that's the right way to frame it. And then obviously I think the Rockets are the other team in the West, but dude, with today's news,
do we know this
This happened
survey
before.
And that's the craziest part, is that the Rockets weren't getting that much love even before the Fred VanVleet news, which is surprising to me. I thought for sure, like, I think people are just kind of burned by the Kevin Durant thing. I think there's been a lot of years of just saying like, oh, you had Kevin Durant. And
it hasn't.
That's an instant title, guaranteed title. And it's only worked one time, and it had to be the most successful team of all time that he joined.
It's a strong counter.
But I am surprised, to be honest. I really thought that the Rockets are the team that I was looking at as like, oh man.
Right. Maybe they get more love.
For sure.
But of course, today's news, if you missed it, Fred VanVleet has torn his right ACL. Huge bummer out of Houston. Man. Huge bummer out of Houston. Okay, we got one more note from the interwebs here, Eric.
Sure.
And this one comes to us from an old friend, Michael Malone, who has recently joined the ESPN crew full-time to cover the NBA.
Did we decide what we want to call him officially? Momentator?
Momentator.
It's either Momentator, Manalist, Sideline Mo Porter.
Sideline Mo Porter? Remoter? We'll workshop it.
I've been workshopping it.
I still haven't landed on one.
For me, it's always got to be Momentator.
Don't say Mike. That's what we know.
Yeah, dude.
Mike Gohl was in an interview.
Furious Mike.
With Frank Isola and another gentleman whose name is eluding me at the moment on Sirius XM NBA radio. And we got this juicy quote. I'm a competitor, I'm a teacher, and I'm a coach first and foremost. A TV star second. I'd love to go out on my own terms. I still have a bad taste in my mouth with how things ended in Denver.
Of course.
And I'd love to go out on my own terms. With that being said, what I've learned over many years in this league is how important it is to go to work every day with people you care about, trust, respect, and who are all pulling in the same direction. So when I have a chance to go back into the NBA, I just want to make sure I'm working with a group of people who are like-minded, share a common vision, and are willing to do whatever it takes to make that vision a reality. Eric, what is your initial, immediate reaction to that quote?
The first part, the way that he thinks of himself, he's a coach. Like he's doing this now because he is very, like, he's great verbally. He's a verbal champion, I think it's going to be a very seamless fit for him to be. I mean, we got a very small taste of him doing this during the playoffs. I don't think he was like particularly that comfortable, but it's just like as soon as this man gets more and more comfortable, we know he's like a walking quote.
Yeah, 100%.
He's going to be great in this role. But I do think that he sees himself as a coach, as a teacher. I think he's a gym rat. I think he wants to be in there like...
Brother, he probably can't separate that from any other kind of identity.
It's just him, dude. It's like me, like I'm like I'm like an art loser. Like I'm an idiot that does art.
It's who you are, it's what you do.
I'm in this world, but I'm like... At the same point in time, I'm just like always like a little art baby. And
right.
I can't really separate the two. There's something, I think that growing up as a coach's son, he is part of the fraternity of coaching. And I think that is what he thinks of himself first and foremost. And so now he's just a coach doing TV. He's going to be a coach doing this, a coach doing that. I hate that he has a bad taste in his mouth. Of course he does. I mean, you get fired, dude. Like I got fired from a job, let's see, 300 years ago, I think, if I've done the math correctly. And I still think about it, like, not all the time, but it comes up where I'm like, you son of a...
Yeah.
If you ever got a chance
to put one over on them.
But even like I would be able to, it still wouldn't matter. There's just something about, there's like he says, being able to go out on your own terms. Being able to go out, like life is really all about that. Being able to control your own destiny is about the highest level that you can achieve in the society we've created for ourselves, that you control your own destiny.
Yeah.
When you have that and then you lose it, it stings, man. It stings for a long time. And for me, like it has never healed, and I'm sure it never will. And I guarantee for him it's the same.
And just, under 2 calendar years removed from the peak of all that.
The absolute peak.
So listen, I have no issue with this quote. I think all of it checks out to me.
No.
I think the Nuggets ultimately made the right choice for their organization.
I hope so.
I also think, like you just said, of course he would have a bad taste in his mouth.
Of course.
I don't think anything about that is out of bounds. And then the second half of it is just the conclusion to take from all this. Perhaps you wanted to hear him take more individual responsibility, but everything he just said are all the things Josh Kroenke said about when they're going to look for his replacement, right? Like, these are all the things we've talked about on this show, all moving in the same direction, trust. Like, it all, that's an interesting. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, I have no issue with this quote. It all checks out to me. You know?
Yeah. And the funny thing is that for him, I think Malone in many ways acted kind of how you want your coach to act in the abstract. Like you want him to be very sure in his decision making, very clear in what it is he's trying to accomplish. The thing that sucks is that those two guys got into a death tailspin with one another and took each other down to the ground. They were unable to cede even an inch of territory.
They played chicken, no one won.
And you just look back, you're like, God, it's so obvious that this was going to be the outcome, and that neither of them could be. It's not even the bigger man, just the smarter man, and just say like, I can tell that this is actually hurting the team. I can tell that our difference of ideas is not only making it so we don't have any kind of relationship, but I can see it affecting people around us, and being able to just be like, all right, can we take a breath here? Can we like get a lunch? Can we can we find a common ground? And the fact that the two of them just could not get out of the death spiral and had to take each other to the ground. I feel especially bad for Coach Malone because of obviously like what he built, how long he was building it, where he got it to, and then to have it just evaporated for something so stupid. It's frustrating. So I imagine, and my other thing is that just quickly, like, if you look at the saga of Carmelo Anthony and George Karl and other members of the Denver Nuggets in history that have kind of like a prickly relationship with the organization, I just hope that's not the case. I hope Coach Malone is a character that is around the Nuggets, is friendly towards them. You see him; he's involved in things. Obviously, he's got his name in the rafters. He's the winningest Denver Nuggets coach in history. And I pray there's not like an icy relationship. Yeah, that it's not just like another one where like, oh, he'll never come back. But that he did that one time.
And he can be, we know he can hold a grudge with the best of them. So maybe it is. And very few coaches do get to go out on their own terms. Coaches of the years are fired all the time. None. So it's inevitable. But
I would say like he especially went out in an especially undignified way.
Yeah, for sure.
Like to not get to finish the season out, to write 3 days before the playoffs, something where it's like, all right, or 3 games before the playoffs, where obviously, everyone is in a bad position and it just looks bad. It just looks like it's sloppy, it's childish, everybody looks bad for it. So I don't know. I mean, I do feel like the general perception, I don't think is negative towards Malone. I think it's kind of I think Calvin Booth has a negative perception towards him. But I also think that he can rise above that too if his draft picks hit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just those are my general thoughts, I suppose.
The other cool takeaway is that he's interested in coaching again.
Yes. So. I mean, that I would like him to be able to coach again. I don't love the idea of going up against Coach Malone.
Sure.
But listen, this guy's whole life has been built towards this, and he's good at it.
He has quite the resume actually at this point. So
he's a great coach.
Eventually, I'm sure he will coach again. For now, if those of you who are interested, we can hear him and see him on ESPN. What a treat! Let's take a dip into the mailbag to close out this show.
All right.
A handful of mailbag questions.
It's not sticky like last time.
Not sticky. No white powder. No ticking sounds.
There's no white powder.
No white powder.
Where the hell's my white powder?
Peyton Watson.
I left it in the mailbag.
No, it's just a question. It's just mail. Oh. And this is a question, and it comes to us from Kuma John. Predict Peyton Watson's 3-point percentage this season.
Oh, what? Do we know what he was at last year? Like 35, right?
Yep.
35% for Peyton Watson. We have been shown clips of a reworked jump shot this offseason where his 3-point attempt, apparently he's not dipping down as low. You never know if that stuff actually translates. Everybody's in the best shape of their life and has a new shooting form every season. But I don't know. I'm kind of buying it. I kind of think he'll at least jump up. I'll say 38%.
Ooh, 38. I had 37.
Okay.
How about that? Kale, let's get yours. Just shout it out. Shout it out.
36 and a half.
Wrong.
36 and a half.
Kale got it wrong.
All we know is Kale's wrong. The rest we'll find out.
Kale, if you're going to shout out, get it right.
Also, Kale, will you please and kindly pull up the next mailbag question? This one. You want to be a producer, huh? Yes. This one comes to us from C-Man or Dumbman916.
C-Man?
I don't think it's Cedric. How do you expect, or I'm sorry, excuse me, do you expect Strother and Watson to be getting minutes over the vets like Hardaway and Brown?
Dude, Watson is very hot in these mailbags, huh? I don't know. I'm very curious about this. I do think that there's a chance that it's Strother and Hardaway that I'm the most curious about.
Do you so I think with the signing of Tim Hardaway, I think Strother is on the outside looking in.
It's possible. It's entirely possible, but you never know. Like we're also going to find out a lot about the philosophy of David Adelman,
Which is the other part of this question. Will he try to be more balanced in developing the young guys?
because Mike Malone Michael Malone would favor veterans, but he did not favor playing the Holiday brother,
Justin
Holiday didn't play until the playoffs, and then he favored him pretty heavily. We don't know if David Adelman is going to be, at the behest of Ben Wallace. They want specifically to see what Julian Strother's got. They want to, if nothing else, get his trade value up. What you have in a guy like Tim Hardaway.
Or do they care less now because they do have vets when they didn't have them last year? So, before they signed these guys, everything Adelman told us about was about what's the balance and willing to lose games to develop young guys throughout the regular season. I honestly think that question is antiquated at this point because they've added veterans. So you can choose to develop.
I know.
But I don't think you have to, as the way that they were talking about it 3 months ago.
It's gonna, I mean, there's always the fine balance of being a coach and a front office person in the NBA is like counterbalancing the task of today with the task of tomorrow. Do we want to make sure that we are getting everybody as much confidence and playing time as possible so that they are ready and confident if their number is called? Do we want to, because especially a guy like P-Watt who is looking for a contract extension and by year's end will be a restricted free agent, are you pushing the button to make sure that he does develop so that he's worth more money, so that he's a trade asset? I mean, there's a lot to be involved, but just as far as if there were no other questions involved, I think it makes sense that Hardaway would get the minutes over Strother.
I think so.
But I do think, I've been saying it, I am picking Strother for a big breakout year. I really do
Not ruling out that he earns his spot back.
Not at all. Bruce Brown is the other one the one that's you don't quite know what you're getting with him. He is coming back off of a major surgery, and he has, his role got very much diminished in the other places that he went.
Yeah.
Not knowing if that means that, he just was overperforming when he was with us. Perhaps he's a Jokić merchant. Will he get Jokić merchant minutes? I don't know, man. I can't wait to see, though.
I am also very excited.
I can't wait to watch.
I'm also, and Watson as, I know a lot of people don't think of Watson as a 4, especially without Jokić, and they're probably right to think that way. But backup 4 is up for grabs.
Yes.
So one way or another, Watson at a backup forward spot, I still think is a possibility. Whereas Julian's spot, I think is just Tim Hardaway Jr.'s spot.
Yeah.
But across the course of the season, will we see them? I don't think they'll be entirely shelved. So
no, there's no way. And again, Tim Hardaway is a vet. He's going to have nights off.
Maybe he wants some nights off every now and then.
There's going to be back-to-backs. There's going to be 82 games is a lot of games.
All right. You're right. It does. It always ends up that way for sure. Hey, Kill, let's actually skip to the 4th link here for this one. And this one comes to us from friend of the show, Matthew Kimura. You may know him as 5555555-ish. Eric, if you had $1 million but could only spend it all on $1 million of something, what would it be?
$1 million. So each thing costs $1?
Wait, I kind of misread this. I thought if it was $1 million, but we have to spend it all on a thing. But he's saying you have to spend it all on 1 million of something.
So 1 million $1 items.
Yes.
I think I'd trade it in for chocolate coins that look like $1. So then you have a huge pile of basically what Scrooge McDuck had.
Oh yeah,
but chocolate.
You could actually dive into it.
But it seems like it'd probably be sticky, kind of gross. I mean, $1 million $1 items.
What? First of all, what is left in the world that's $1? Arizona iced tea? Not even.
Wait, can you buy a soda pop, one soda pop can of, what is that $1? Is that a $1 item these days?
No, even. That's the thing.
One bar of candy, a candy bar, $1?
No, dude, you can't even get the big gulps aren't even less than $1 anymore. They're like $1.79.
Unbelievable.
Oh, David's got
David
a
with
lot
the
of
right
tickets,
answer,
$1.
a lot of tickets. Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot
we
of
wish for
tickets.
more wishes, basically.
Yeah, wish for more wish. It is 100% the right answer.
Yeah, dude. We could turn $1 million into like $200,000, no problem, by buying a bunch of lottery tickets.
And knowing our guy Fives, that was not an open-ended question. He wanted to see if we would get to the correct answer that he had already identified.
Was that it? Is it lotto tickets?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that's the right answer. Shout out David. I don't think we would have gotten there.
No, we wouldn't have got there. I guess that is the what is a $1 item?
There aren't any left, buddy. That's what I'm trying to say.
Dang.
His 5555555 ish is in the chat.
All right.
And he says his bowling alley sells cans of soda for $1.
5555555 ish is looking for us in a hypothetical way to support his bowling alley by buying 1 million cans of soda from them at $1 a piece.
$1 can of soda though. Good deal. Good deal. I was in Indiana recently. Why? I don't even know.
Sure.
And I bought, I didn't buy, but I saw that they were selling cans of beer for like $3. It's like, that's the America I remember.
Dude, for me, it was the $2 can of PBR, $2 can, like a $2 beer. Nothing hits quite like a $2 can.
You can still get a Coors Banquet for $3 at the Satire down the street.
Yep. Shout out the Satire. Shout out everyone who still has a good
Dude,
deal.
shout out. And feel free to patronize any business that happens to be on Colfax and is under absolute siege by Progress.
Hashtag back the facts for sure.
Back the facts.
I've been doing that for real, but that's for us to talk about later. I think we have 3 super chats. This one is from Mr. Cedric Exquisite. God forbid we went through a whole show without hearing from our homie. And he says,
who again, not a member of the, you know what the craziest thing is? He's not a member of the supporters club, but when you join the supporters club, you get 1 free super chat.
Unbelievable.
So he could with one, whatever.
Killing us, Cedric. Also, here is a super chat completely out of context. No, but he gives hell and is our number 1. Let's get the trophy. Not sure. You know what? I'll go along with you this time.
Sure. Oh, I think these went out of order. He actually used these 2 separate people somehow had a mind meld where they gave 2 separate super chats that are related to one another.
Okay, so this is also from Cedric Exquisite.
No, not also. That's a different person. One is from
excuse me.
Cedric Exquisite and one is from Mr. Exquisite Nugget. Clearly 2 different people.
I stand humbled and corrected.
But again, they have super chats that play off one another, even though they're, again, 2 different people.
Vote number 1, Eric number 3, Kale 0. Jokić is still the best. Those numbers are all over the place.
Yeah,
Thanks, Cedric.
who's number 2?
And if Jokić is the best, am I still number 1?
And does 0 come before 1? Does that mean Kale's the best?
Also, thank you for super chatting. And,
And
lastly,
where does Jokić go if Kale is 0? Is he double 0?
lastly, Big Honey.
We need these 2 separate people to get together and explain what's going on.
Every reason champ thought repeat. We'll see if OKC can overcome the malaise. The Nuggets will be more than ready this
Dude,
season.
I am so ready for the entire state of Oklahoma to be grabbed by the panhandle and dunked into it malaise just over and over, glazed with malaise, and then put right back in place. And then they're like,
Absolutely
oh, what happened?
disgusting.
We were the consensus number 1.
Absolutely
Tim
disgusting.
Bontemps.
I recently went on a vacation with a bunch of Thunder fans, and they spent 3 days just rubbing it in my face.
Hold
it was
on.
terrible.
Hold on.
3?
You buried the lead. You know 3 Thunder fans?
Yeah, they're from Oklahoma. They're my parents' best friends.
It's not the same guy 3 times. It's
No, 3 separate people.
And they all independent of one another, like the Thunder, as their team.
I mean, they're all one family.
There's one
Yeah.
family.
See, you were onto something.
I knew that we had to dig a little deeper.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be in San Diego next week.
Let's go.
We all silly like the mayor.